Thank you very much. Brings us to item 9. Councillor Mandry has asked if he can join us for this item, so if you'd like to come forward, Arthur, while I ask Councillor Cartwright to introduce him.
Thank you, Chairman. So the purpose of this paper is to respond to Hampshire Police and Crime Commissioner's invitation to comment on his new police and crime panel priorities and ensure fair views are incorporated into the document. So looking at the briefing paper, paragraph 1 shows the current community safety partnership priorities which match the current police crime plan. It also shows the various agencies we are working with. Paragraphs 4 and 5 shows the PCC's vision for Hampshire and its mission. Paragraph 6 shows the PCC's priorities, and paragraph 7 shows the PCC's 10 pledges under the following 3 subject headings: ambitious by, accountable by and accessible by. The consultation also asked interested parties, and I was told on Friday that they've received 1,600 papers so far to comment on the 5 questions shown in Appendix A. Appendix B shows council's and partners' response to based on our Vanguard way of working. And what we've really tried to do is to keep an emphasis on keeping priorities sharp, succinct, and to emphasise partnership working and the opportunities presented by future co-located working. And I think we have quite a good background of partnership working if we talk about CCTV, community safety, environmental health and so on. So the Police Crime Commissioner's priorities are broadly framed and with weight delivery plans which will be endorsed and monitored by the Police and Crime Panel, of which I'm a member. Also, following consultation, further comments have been received since the report was published, and we now have a tabled amendment that's been produced which covers mental health, community resolution, youth connection, Ferrum triage panel, travellers and pavement parking. So going back to the recommendation, we're asked to approve the draft response to Hampshire's Police and Crime Commissioner's consultation on the Police and Crime Plan 2016-2021. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. So there is that amendment that everybody's got with those extra items added into. Councillor Mandry.
Yes, thank you, Chairman. May I say I'm impressed with our responses because I think that they significantly improve the very broad objectives that have been set by the Police and Crime Commissioner. Which almost amounts to a wish list, I think, that many of us could have written. And I think our objectives represent a significant improvement to that. What is missing, of course, which is Councillor Cartwright has already said, is the delivery. It's the delivery on these plans which makes the difference and is absolutely critical. I'm not quite sure what empowering a chief constable means. They have significant powers at the moment, and under certain circumstances, life or death. But how are we going to significantly further improve the empowerment of the Chief Constable? I'm not quite sure. It does say very little about frontline officers and local officers. We're looking at a much reduced level of frontline officers and local officers. Well, we used to have a local team. We're lucky if we get now, at the moment, an officer and a PCSO, which doesn't seem to give us the local connection and continuity that we once had. The responses now to things like antisocial behaviour are regularly dealt with by response teams. Those teams seem to be purely engaged in an act of dispersal that rarely collect names of offenders to pass on to the local officers so as they can deal with them in a more substantial way as they used to through their families. And I think that's the other thing that's lacking here. We no longer have locally based officers with a continuity of local knowledge. The problem of delivery has been dealt with within the report extremely well and by Councillor Cartwright. an action plan is simply a group of words put together. What is important, particularly where the priorities lie, who is responsible for the delivery of the action plan, the timescales in which it's going to be delivered, measurable targets, and funding where appropriate. That process, in my past experience, took several months to secure, and there was simply a lack of expertise within the office of the PCC to produce such a plan. It did take a long time, mainly because of the activities of the Police and Crime Panel, who insisted on this should be produced to support the Police and Crime Plan. The other thing I totally support is a communication strategy. That is most important. The Commissioner has said that he wishes to be transparent and communicate with people. At the moment, looking at the plan, it looks very much like it's come out of the PCC Scrabble word box. I have been told that this is a new police and crime plan and a new commissioner. I tried to make a comparison of the changes between this plan and the previous plan. If you go into the website and ask to see the police and crime plan, it tells you that it is active until 2017, or until the current plan is, until the new plan has been produced. All I could find on the internet was the page cannot be found. So I called the Police and Crime Commissioner's office and said, could you please tell me where I can find a copy of the existing Police and Crime Plan? They gave me a link very kindly. When I tried to activate the link, it came up as page cannot be found. So anybody who's becoming engaged with the new police and crime plan and the plan which differentiates this commissioner from the past commissioner cannot find anything to compare it with. I think that's the most important aspect to look at, to find out where we're going. Is it exactly the same as where we've been before, or is this commissioner going to make a difference? I don't see that his communication strategy currently does what it needs to be done. And I think that's something maybe that the Police and Crime Panel can do. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, thank you very much indeed, Councillor Mandry. So I'll bring in Councillor Cartwright in a moment to respond to those comments, just see if there's anything else anybody wants to add any of this. Okay, Phil.
Yeah, I think to take Councillor Mandry's points, currently we're in. I mean, yes, we are still working to the current police and crime plan, and that's very much there, and the police do work to that, and the police crime panel are still looking at elements of that delivery plan to date. I think for me the disappointing thing that we've seen so far is that the new police crime commissioner has come in and has decided that he's effectively going to scrap everything that happened in the past. He's also got rid of a number of his staff. So things like you can't find things on the website, they're not really particularly helpful. So I do take the point there. And we had a meeting of the police crime panel last Friday where these points were certainly raised. I think sort of you made the point also about the delivery of the plans, and yes, that is vital. And I think as we've seen in the previous police crime commissioner, we had a plan, we had an action plan, and they were measurable, and we could actually test that again. The rest of the chief constable, I think the police crime commissioner forgot that he also had a team, or she had a team as well actually, so we've tried to cover that part. On the antisocial behaviour side of life, you've talked about the problems of dispersal, etc., etc. Well, it does go a little bit further than that now, because we have the partnership action group meetings every month where everything is brought up there, including antisocial behaviour and people targeted or whatever will help. So there is an element there as well. Regarding this consultation at the moment, we're also, the police crime panel is due to see the police crime commissioner on the 14th of this month as well, to really talk through a bit more of what's going on, because he does seem anxious to make sure that, you know, everybody's on board, but I think he's got a lot of work to do, and I think he's now just passed his first 100 days, and I think he realises the magnitude of what he needs to achieve. But I can assure you that myself and the police crime panel will certainly be holding him to task to make sure that he's covering the actions and achieving what needs to be achieved.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Well, perhaps then, if members are happy to agree this, maybe you could add some sort of narrative along the lines of what Councillor Mandry said, particularly this, you know, non-working of websites and links and things like that, which don't actually encourage community engagement. Okay, so with that side amendments, everyone agreed to that response. Thank you.